Johnson in New York. We're going to get you out to Connecticut and Arizona. In the first half, the score 7-4. Jim Nantz and Billy Packer with the call after this message and a word from your local station.
Jim Nantz and Billy Packer welcome you to the Connecticut campus, Stores, Connecticut, Gampel Pavilion, where Arizona leads 9-5. A little more than 5 minutes into the game, the Huskies have been held so far to only one field goal, and Arizona, the 5th-ranked team in the country, dominating the boards early.
Jim, big thing for Connecticut, Mooring out with 2 fouls. Playing away from the ball against Arenas puts Connecticut in bad shape with their key scorer on the bench.
And you just saw Lauren Wood's first points of the season, returning today after serving a 6-game NCAA suspension.
And you can see without Mooring on the floor, the Arizona defense packing way back inside. Now the Connecticut's premier outside shooter not on the floor.
Arizona today going without head coach Lute Olson, did not travel with the team to Connecticut. Inside, the Huskies score with Robertson, who's just come in off the bench. Robert Rosborough leading the Wildcats effort today from the bench. Coach Olson back home, his wife Bobby receiving treatments in their battle with cancer, and we certainly extend all of our best wishes to Bobby and the family back home. Starters for this game today: Wright, Jefferson, Woods, Arenas, and Gardner. First time in 27 games they've had that lineup intact. Ron Butler, freshman for Connecticut. Woods gets his first breather.
And Jim, the difficulty, even though that's an experienced lineup and they have played together before, considering the fact we're halfway through the month, and it's the first time they've been together in a real game on the road against a quality opponent. So it takes time, even for veterans, to make that adjustment.
Marcus Cox at the point for the Huskies, seeing his first action. Michael Wright leads the way right now. 6 points, 6 rebounds for Arizona. In that overtime game, Illinois is up by 3 with 3 minutes remaining in the OT.
Robertson on the floor right now. Remember last year came in the game as a sub, had 15 against Arizona.
Butler short on the 3. Justin Brown, a 7-footer who came off the bench, knocked it out of bounds. Coach Jim Calhoun's 15th year directing the Huskies, 99 titleist. Arizona, of course, winning the championship in '97.
Michael Wright already showing his power on the boards, one of the premier rebounders in college basketball. Great hands, great anticipation, has the body to go with it.
Gene Edgerson called for traveling.
Edgerson, a great story, isn't he, Jim? Sitting out last year to teach in kindergarten. We remember him being a pivotal factor off that bench for Arizona when they made their run to the national championship. And with his club, provides a lot of leadership, great defensive intensity. Fun to watch in practice because he keeps them going.
Cox with the drive.
Has a big advantage size-wise against Gardner. Connecticut very deep at the guard position.
Backing him in, Wright is clobbered. Somehow the basket
So
goes.
strong.
Boy, that showed it right there.
MVP of the Maui Classic. Just a powerful inside performer. See him taking the ball, one. The guy with strength himself, and then you see Selby, who is a very powerful young man, coming over from the weak side, and together they cannot stop Michael Wright.
Rebounding so far, 11-2 for Arizona. Frazier has come in, Lamont Frazier, 23.
Jim, Arizona has 11.5 rebound advantage over their opponents going into this basketball game, and even in their loss to Purdue, they dominated the boards.
Some start for Michael Wright, 9 points. Knocked out, Husky ball.
Robertson got himself up in the air, no place to go whatsoever. Was lucky to get away with that one.
Lauren Woods returns, 1 of 4 from the field, 2 points and a rebound in his return game.
And how about this, with 12:30 to go, Walton comes into the ball game for the first time. We're talking about the Pac-10 Player of the Week last week.
Tells you what kind of depth
they have, right? has really played great basketball. Passing-wise, defensive-wise, leads them in steals.
Had that double-double, did Luke Walton, earlier in the week. Second career double-double. That was against St. Mary's. 2:20 to go in the Illinois Seton Hall game. Illini leads by 4.
Imagine this, in those contests, played 52 minutes with his outstanding play and only had 1 turnover. Excellent ball handler for a man of his size.
Selby turnaround.
Tough shot, junior college player. Outstanding junior college player in the country last year. It'll take him a while to make this adjustment, however.
Started early in the season as Karan Butler, the freshman for Connecticut, served a 3-game suspension. Here's Butler. Had a lot of strong words before this game about how the Huskies can compete. Gets it back, and his first field goal.
And that was over Lauren Woods as well. Fouling violation against Arenas. Nice job by Cox getting back on defense.
Turnovers, but Arizona is in front by 3. Back at the home of the 1999 national champion UConn Huskies, Jim Nance with Billy Packer. And Billy, again, we send our best wishes to Bobby Holtzen, Lute Olson back home. Lute not making this trip, and you've known them for a long time. They're special people.
They really are, and a great team, Jim. As a husband and wife team, I realize Lute has been a great program builder, but Bobby has been there every step of the way, and I really, wish both of them the best. As do all the fans in Connecticut. A lot of people up here expressed their wishes and that we would send them out to them on the air. So they've got a lot of fans all over this country.
Walton looking for some help inside. Nearly stolen away by Cox.
Both of these teams extremely deep. I don't think Arizona's going to find many clubs that can go with them on the bench the way Connecticut can.
Razor put it up wildly, and Hazelton, the freshman, pulls it away for the Huskies. Selby, big step, blocked on the other side, and a foul.
Selby not afraid to take it inside. Anderson was on the weak side. Good drive, good power move.
Second call against Richard Jefferson.
Now the interesting thing too, Jim, when you start thinking about what Coach Olson will have to do when he returns to this club, he knows the players. It's not like he's got freshmen that he's having to move around, but a lot of differences now in how you substitute and what you create as a substitution pattern now that Lauren Woods is back in the ballgame. Guys that have been playing maybe 25 minutes drop back to the 15 to the 18. You've got to find room for them all.
Richardson sits, Wright returns.
Gardner into the ball game, who exploded against Illinois and has been very quiet offensively so far today.
Long rebound, and it comes back to Wright.
Why not? He's every place on the offensive and defensive end of the glass. Good position by Woods.
Woods had to take it, too strong.
You can't give him that shot, though. He's very good with the medium-range jumper.
Selby again, this time it works.
You can see that Selby is not intimidated at all. If you've been able to lead your team to a national championship in Hutchinson, Kansas, that national junior college championship, you will not be intimidated in this game.
Hazelton whistled for this one inside.
A lot of substituting taking place by both teams. Butler back in. Saunders back in. Selby, Hazelton both did a good job while they were in there in that short stint.
So Luke Walton at the line, the 6'8" sophomore, 7.6 rebounds a game. That follow-through looks a little familiar to you, doesn't it?
Looks a lot like his dad, a little shorter. A little huskier build maybe than Bill was at the same stage of his career. But he has good fundamental technique.
Knocks them both down. Put the Cats back in front by 2.
Arizona's been getting pretty good penetration. Good pass. Saunders should have had that.
Cox got hit in the face.
I think it's going to be a foul on Wright going for the ball, but he got there second. Now Cox with good 6'4" size in the backcourt, really helping out Connecticut. And Wright just got there a little late.
Stripped away, Gardner. Pull up three. Wow.
Jim, you can see that coming. When you've got a guy as dangerous as that as the outside, he's the most dangerous player on the floor because he's got the ball in his hands. And you know he can pull up and take that jump shot with an unlimited range. Good dive.
Tie-up situation, Husky ball.
Gardner from Indiana showing some moxie there. Dives in for that loose ball. Not afraid to try to rip it away. He and Butler having a little conversation here. Butler a little outspoken today in the newspaper, Jim, for a guy that's playing in his first real big game.
Just a freshman, and he said, I think our 5 matches up fine with their 5, and our bench is deeper. We'll be up to the challenge. So far, their bench has outscored Arizona's bench 7-2.
There's the double down. Good reverse by Gardner.
Brown with the layup. Good passing.
What happened there? Gardner doubled down. That left Brown wide open. Brown took advantage of it, Jim. Excellent adjustment by Connecticut.
Woods wanting it. Juan defending Woods, but the left hand rolls off the front of the rim.
Woods not powerful enough to go inside.
Batted away. Walton. Good save.
Great save. Boy, how about the presence of mind, Jim? He turned and looked, and he knew where the ball was going to be, so he looked around the court to see where his teammates were, and then made the pass.
Yeah, before he retrieved it,
Great play.
Already a step ahead about where he's going with it. Woods now 1 of 7 from the field.
He's just not strong enough to finish inside. He's got the openings.
Walton, 3. Right back at him. Look the pass. Traveled.
There you see it. Now look, see, he's looking for his teammates. He knows where they are on the floor. He's already made that adjustment. Then he goes and finds the ball. Terrific play. He probably should have been a little more aggressive looking for his shot on that offensive rebound, though, that created the turnover on the walk.
Juan,
you'll give him that shot.
Saunders snares it.
In traffic. Woods needs room to operate. When the bodies bang in there, he has a hard time getting control. Double team out there. Somebody's got to be open.
Brown. Oh, hung up there for a long time. No basket.
Wow. He's calling Juan for a push to get position.
Illinois has completed
Incredible
an enormous comeback from 21 down in the second half to win by 8 in overtime.
Jim, we'll see this one right here. Juan comes in. Where do they see? Oh, minimal touch on the top of the head. I think that was a pretty good play.
Second foul on Juan.
Right on the line. Jim had 19 points out in Maui in the game, opening game. The all-time record for rebounding in the Maui Classic. Had 13 double-digit games last year, rebounding in points. And you can see why when you watch him play. Great offensive rebounder, nose for the ball, nice soft touch.
Arizona will be taking on Illinois for the second time next Saturday.
Yep, because of the matchup in Hawaii, they will play them now in a regularly scheduled game.
It was such a big win to come back from 21 down. They stormed the floor at Assembly Hall in Champaign will be welcoming that audience shortly here as the lead has now swelled to 21-16 Arizona.
I think Butler has an advantage in quickness on Walton. I'm surprised he doesn't try to take him out there.
Traveling called on Selby. 7:59 to go in the first half. Cats have never trailed. They're up by 5. Michael Wright with 11 points and 7 rebounds to lead Arizona. 15-8 advantage rebounding wise for the Wildcats. Justin Wessel has come in, and he's provided a lot of valuable minutes this season, Billy.
Started 5 of the 6 games that Woods did not play early in the year. So obviously they have a lot of confidence in it at that position. Walton inside, nice back away move.
Yeah, fadeaway jumper drops, and Arizona has its largest lead. Jim Nance and Billy Packer welcoming you to Storrs, Connecticut, where the number 5 ranked Arizona Wildcats have never trailed. But here comes UConn. 2-on-1, and Brown lays it in.
Butler getting a lot of confidence against Walton. They set up a 1-4 situation for him outside. As I said, he's got an advantage on Walton quickness-wise. And then on the defensive end, he came up with a big steal as well. So taking advantage of his quickness. Nice feed.
Wessel inside with a lay-in. Beautiful feed.
Great touch pass, Jim. Anticipation by Walton that a man would be open before he caught the ball. He was ready to make the pass.
Arizona ranked 5th in the country. Connecticut 15th. And Michael Wright has been the story here early. He has 11 points and 8 rebounds for Arizona, which again has never trailed.
Robertson given good minutes off the bench now that Mooring's out with 2 fouls. As I said, he came off the bench last year, 20 minutes, had 15 points, so he's picking up right where he left off.
Tony Robertson will head to the line for 2. Lauren Woods marked his return here today, starting the game for the Wildcats. He's made only 1 out of 7 shots from the field. His play so far, Billy?
Well, I think, to make the adjustment back into banging in game conditions as opposed to practice has really been tough for him today, particularly when he got the ball inside and had some pretty good looks, but did not finish well at all. He's got to go up a lot stronger.
Woods in for Wright. Arizona being coached today by Jim Rosborough, as Coach Lute Olson did not travel with the team to Connecticut. Released a statement as part of the ongoing treatment for ovarian cancer. Bobby Olson having a medical procedure on Friday, yesterday. University Medical Center. It's my decision to remain with Bobby during this time rather than travel with the team. Very much appreciate the way the media has respected her request for privacy in the past, and we trust you will continue to honor her wishes. And we all send our best wishes to Bobby Olson. And Lauren Woods.
There you see again, he makes the turn. He's getting bumped. He's asking the referee to take into consideration he's getting hit, but he's got to be stronger than that. Justin Brown, who is going to get playing time now that Ajudong is not going to be playing for Connecticut, at least in the near future. But here you're going to see body contact. But, you've got a score on this play. Wide open look. And he's looking for help from the referee. He's not going to get it there.
Justin Brown defending there from Australia, a 7-footer for Connecticut, has scored only 4 points all season. Had a very strong week of practice and expected to get a lot of minutes today. Selby at the line will shoot 1 more.
Same high school as Luke Longley over in Australia. And he looked good in practice yesterday, Jim. Good hustle. He's got quickness. Pretty good hands.
As you said, if you walk right in and said, tell me the starting 5 for UConn, you would have to think he would be one of them.
That was the toughest rebound that Woods had all day. Maybe he's realizing now the guys in the striped shirts are not going to take his side. He's just got to get tougher in this game. offensive rebounder for a guard.
But on the baseline, Ederson returns for Arizona. Husky ball with 5:41 to go in the half.
Obviously, Arizona not the same team with Wright on the bench. No drop-off for Connecticut that I've seen today in regard to their bench at all. Selby's picked up big. Cox as well. Robertson.
Butler way too strong.
Now Justin Brown.
Yep. He's looking for help. Marcus Cox, former state Mr. Connecticut basketball, takes the three and would have given UConn its first lead.
And there's Cox going in for a rebound, but Gardner is so tough inside. I think Gardner needs to be thinking about scoring a little bit more with Wright out of the ball game. Arenas for that beautiful outside shot.
His second three of the game.
Both Arenas and Gardner have that ability, Jim, with range on the jump shot to shoot from long distances without having to have the dribble to gather themselves. Selby wastes no time taking it to the hoop.
And it was wow. Slam it right past a couple of Wildcats.
He is explosive and wants it.
Arizona 5-1 with wins over Chaminade, Dayton, Illinois, lost to Purdue in the John Wooden Classic, then a win over Gonzaga and a 60-point blowout over St. Mary's. There's Jim Rosborough, 21 seasons he's served under Lute Olson.
Of course, he was a head coach at Northern Illinois, and he's been a head coach twice at Arizona. Once when Lute sat down with a back injury and was successful in a game against LaSalle, and then once when Lute got thrown out of a ball game, much was like the case of Dean Smith in that Final Four when Bill Guthridge took over. It was a losing cause for him. You know, Jim, when you think about Arizona coming east, they've won 2 games in Springfield in the Hall of Fame Classic. They've never lost in Madison Square Garden. Lute Olson has won, he's won 6 games and lost none there in the NIT preseason championships. And remember the game at the Meadowlands where they beat Duke when President Richard Nixon was at the ball game. Christian Laettner missing those fouls at the end. So he's had great success with his clubs east. Butler's opportunity to take his man when he's outside.
Push-off called on Cox. That's a tremendous record. Now here they are really in the heart of Big East country, playing on campus, the home of the '99 national champions. 2 of the last 4 titleists in this game, the '97 national champions from Arizona, the '99 UConn Huskies. The Huskies, by the way, 6-1 and riding a 5-game win streak. Their loss was to Dayton in the opening round of the Maui Classic. They were on a course, UConn and Arizona, to play over there in Hawaii. Dayton spoiled it with that opening round victory.
Right, and Arizona beat Dayton right after that. And of course, these 2 teams played last year in the Grade 8 where Connecticut, behind Elamine, pulled off the win.
Robertson lays it in off the assist from Cox.
I'll tell you, Cox is really playing well. Remember, Mooring is on that bench and has been there since early in the ball game, picking up 2 off-the-ball fouls.
Jefferson bouncing it inside. Woods has it stripped away by Cox.
He's just being out-toughed in this game.
Brown on the follow.
Cox!
And a whistle before that, and Wright saying, no, not me, but it's called on Michael Wright.
How about the way Cox is attacking that basket? He's about 6'4" or 5", and really doing the job from the outside. Connecticut not afraid to take it in, and here you'll see Cox coming from the guard position and putting it right back in. Basket will not count. Brown on the inside will get a chance to shoot.
Foul on Wright was his second, so Justin Brown at the line can cut into that slim 2-point lead that's been as high as 7.
Jim, you see again the new rule in college basketball, only 6 guys on the lane.
Why did they go to that, Billy?
To clean up the activity on foul shooting. just as they are the overall effect of the game. Trying to return it more to a finesse game as opposed to just pushing, shoving. And foul line activity, obviously, will, with only having 6, will clean it up a lot.
Brown gets 1 of 2, only his 5th point of the season, but he's had some lively minutes here today. A 1-point lead for the visiting Arizona Wildcats.
Names.
It's the first time in 27 games that the Arizona Wildcats have had their full team back together, but again, not whole, because Lute Olson back home in Tucson. But Richard Jefferson, after a 1-game suspension, did start here today. And what about this team when you look at the full 5 back in action?
Well, Jimmy, you've got to like this team as a club that has a good chance to go to a Final Four. Looking at Jefferson yesterday, a very articulate young man. We had a chance to speak to him about this suspension, and I really do think this suspension was ridiculous. He has been a friend of Luke Walton ever since he was a junior in high school, a friend of the families, and Bill Walton, of all the guys that I know, would do nothing whatsoever to hurt a kid's eligibility and would have no ulterior motive whatsoever to provide a special gift to Jefferson. I think the NCAA should have looked into that situation. No reason whatsoever to suspend a young man of his caliber, nor a guy like Bill Walton, who would do anything he could to try to help advance positiveness in college basketball.
Bill called it the worst thing that's ever happened to me. He was so apologetic and has spoken so often about how much the college game had really impacted his life. Preaches such a positive message to kids and how to do things the right way in college. But he considers Richard Jefferson to be almost like one of his members of his family.
It's just kind of, he wasn't thinking of it in terms of some ulterior motive that he could gain an advantage. He's not an agent, doesn't represent the young man, not looking to represent him, not looking to help the fortunes of Arizona basketball. It was merely a roommate of his own son, and I think it was very unfortunate.
Second foul called on Justin Brown. 10th team foul. Woods will shoot 1 more.
You can tell that Woods does not have on a game face, and he does not have game conditioning, and he's not ready to be banged around. It's going to probably take a couple of weeks for him to get back in that kind of shape. Misses a pair.
And he's 2 of 9 from the field.
That man started at Wake Forest, as everybody knows, was the understudy to the great Tim Duncan there, and eventually decided in the best interest of everybody to leave, and has picked up very well in Arizona.
Justin Brown with the left hand.
Got good distance between himself and Woods, who's a good shot blocker. But we talked about how Brown looked in practice yesterday. Picking up very nicely here. Good skip pass.
Brown defending. Woods pinned underneath. Going the other way.
See, Woods is looking to the referee for help. And that is not going to be the answer. Look at that good screen on the inside by Butler. And Brown takes advantage with a little half hook.
We saw shots like that, as you said, Billy, in practice yesterday. He's given UConn its first lead of the game. You don't want to overemphasize the importance of just the practice, but there was a sense that perhaps today you'd see an unveiling of a new player.
Without question.
On this big stage, 2 of the Giants college basketball, a tight one. 1997, the championship game, Arizona against Kentucky. Miles Simon knocked down 30 points to lead Arizona to the overtime victory, 84-79. And completing the remarkable feat of knocking off 3 #1 seeds en route to the championship.
Jim, interesting thing about that Arizona team, they finished 11-7 in the Pac-10 that year for 5th place going into the NCAA tournament, but really got on that great roll, and who'll ever forget that game we had against Kansas. And then almost a big foul-up in the next game to work their way to the Final Four. Do you remember that one?
Yeah, of course. Against Providence.
Yes.
Gardner drives.
Nice try.
A lot of touch on that one.
Got Selby take it to the hoop. He will take it to the hoop.
He traveled first.
Wow, I didn't see the walk on that play, but that young man's got a nose to take it right inside. Not afraid of anybody. I didn't see the walk there.
I didn't either.
It was was an unusual move because he hesitated, but I never saw a walk.
Backdoor, and Arenas can't close it. Tough angle.
Yeah, that was a good solid screen, back screen by Woods on the play.
Selby travels again.
Well, Jim Calhoun's saying to Selby, pass the ball, but that's not what he's aggressively thinking about.
For up-to-the-minute scores on all of today's NCAA hoops action, click on live scores at cbs.sportsline.com. AOL keyword CBS Sportsline. Brown to the bench.
Jim, I was talking about Arizona coming east. They're 22-11 against Big East schools. That's quite a record. When you figure most of those intersectional clashes would be in an NCAA tournament or against a top-notch opponent. There's Arenas with that standstill jumper. Great range.
9 points on 3 threes.
And he's looking at Robertson and saying, you know, if you're not going to guard me out there, fella, I will put it right up over your head.
Huskies have turned it over 3 consecutive trips.
Good overplay by Walton. Now, Connecticut went to a 1-4. Let's see if they do it again. Here they are, setting up the 1-4. Butler and Walton, seeing if he can't take him one-on-one from outside. He's a little bit too far away from the basket.
And a hand check call on Walton.
Walton, an excellent defensive player, but if Butler's going to do that, Jim, he should be starting at about 25 feet from the basket, not 40. Because once you beat the guy, where are you going to go with the shot? So he really started it up a little bit too soon. But I like the strategy by Connecticut to try to isolate Walton out front where Butler would have some advantage on him.
10th team foul on Arizona. 2 shots for Butler. Again, he said before on the eve of the game, we feel our starting 5 matches up with their 5, and our bench is deeper. And Jim Calhoun responded, it proves once again that he's a freshman. Make comments like that.
Well, played at Maine Central, school that has produced a lot of kids that are coming into college basketball and doing well. His first game in Connecticut uniform, he had 20 against Louisville, so he will put up some numbers.
Just a 1-second differential. Shot clock to game clock.
Gardner low to the floor. You'd think they'd have Walton coming out, who's a good passer, to make this play. Nice crossover.
Arenas, Cox had a hand on it. Gardner fade away. Oh! Rebounded by Cox, and the half we have reached.
Arenas went over the shoulders there to tap that ball back in. Saunders just laughs at him, saying guards aren't supposed to do that. Watch this, Jim. Watch Arenas coming from the outside. Over the top of everybody. Saunders just looked and said, where did 0 come from?
Is that a foul?
No, that's not a foul.
That's the end of the first half with the score. Arizona 35, Connecticut 33. Gus Johnson will be along with At the Half after these messages. Nancy, Billy Packer back with you. Arizona with a 2-point lead about to begin the second half. Billy, we need to recognize a couple of outstanding performances earlier this week in college basketball.
Well, we sure do. In the history of North Carolina basketball, until Brendan Haywood had the triple-double, no player in North Carolina ever had a triple-double. 2,384 games, the likes of Michael Jordan, and Sam Perkins, and Lenny Rosenbluth, and Billy Cunningham, but it was Brendan Haywood that had the first one. And then at Seton Hall, Eddie Griffin, a freshman, comes up with the triple-double, the first on record ever at Seton Hall. Look at that, 21 points, 12 rebounds, 10 blocks. Sensational freshman.
Here, Arizona's largest lead was 7 at 23-16. Connecticut's only lead was at 31-30 on a soft left hook by Justin Brown.
Jim, when you look at those first half stats, the bench, and that's what we talked about. Connecticut, one of the few teams, could match up with Arizona. They had 9 of the 17 rebounds at the bench and 16 of 33 points. They outscored the bench of Arizona 16-6 and out-rebounded them 9-2. Mooring with 2 fouls early, now back in the game. Did not have a chance to be much of a factor in the first half, and that bench, the guard positions, particularly Cox and Robertson, really did the job for Connecticut.
Arenas Arenas. That's his shot, but Butler's there for the rebound. Mooring, you spoke of, Billy, played only 2 minutes in that first half after being saddled with 2.
Picked up 2 off-the-ball fouls against Arenas on Arenas' cuts to the basket. Cheap ones, but part of the new interpretation of rules in college basketball.
Mooring fade away in front of the rim. Out to Brown.
Give Saunders a lot of credit, just shocking that rebounding out of Jefferson's hands. Jefferson did not score in the first half, so, you know, with Mooring not doing much and Jefferson not doing much, they kind of negated each other.
Butler on the drive, too strong. Saunders, taken away. Gardner.
Well, that was a great decision of Gardner not to make the tough pass.
There's Wood, strong to the basket.
Now there, Jim, was a situation where Gardner eventually got the assist, but what was really the great play was the pass he did not make where he didn't have the angle earlier. Really good heads-up play by Gardner. Now he can afford to lay off Brown. Brown hasn't shown he can shoot it all from the outside. Play him to drive.
Swatted away by Woods.
Good crossover by Arenas.
Arenas to the line for 2. And what a... Well, that's the 3rd on Mooring.
Now, you think Woods thought about things at halftime? There was that great decision by Gardner. Woods dunks it and then gets back down on the other end of the floor and does a great job getting up and excellent block and let it go in the other direction.
Mooring picks up his 3rd. UConn's leading scorer has not scored. Albert Mooring averages 19 points a game. And he has not scored in this one. Would you have ever imagined that he would be held scoreless and UConn would be down only 2 at halftime? Here he collects the foul. Arenas will go to the line.
Well, he's picked up all 3 fouls trying to guard Arenas. 2 without the ball, and that one obviously the kind of play where he really should have just played solid defense with his feet, not tried to go for the block. Arenas had a tough angle for that shot.
So he's back to the bench.
Mooring, who set a Connecticut record for 3-point shooting last year, shot over 50% from 3-point range in Big East games. So you'd wonder how Connecticut could be this close, Jim, without almost a 20-point per game score on the bench with 0.
38-33, Arizona.
Robertson did a nice job coming off the bench, as did Cox, to pick up that scoring load missed by Mooring being down. Good overplay by right inside, just taking away any pass down inside. Butler has to learn how to keep that dribble alive so that he can be a threat when he's within 15 feet of the basket. There's Robertson again. It's his 3rd basket of the game.
And UConn's first points of the second half. Jefferson fires and only perfect from the outside.
That's his first 2 of the game as well. Beautiful elevation on that jump shot. He got Butler to just back off.
Robertson almost had it stripped by Arenas. Comes off the screen. What a move to the basket.
That was a great move, Jim. Hesitation dribble. I don't think that Woods or anybody else expected him to come all the way inside.
Jefferson, spin move, finds the open man. Wright gets hit from behind.
Well, I thought that was all ball by Robertson. But a beautiful pass. There's that hesitation. And notice how Woods never anticipated him coming inside, got out of position on the wrong side of Saunders.
First on Robertson. A couple of big plays, though, in this half for the sub. Michael Wright at the line.
Well, again, Jim, he has to feel comfortable against Arizona. Had 15 points in just 20 minutes last year off the bench in Connecticut's win.
That was the only previous matchup between these 2 programs. Won by UConn 78-69. It was a year ago this week.
Well, hard to believe when you think of Calhoun and Olsen. Jim, if you're a college president and you want to put together a basketball program that's down, can you think of any two guys you'd rather have based on their proven ability to take basketball programs at any place and put them up on the top? Calhoun and Olsen may be two of the best that have ever been in the game in that area.
Well, you just look at what they did with these programs. Butler hanging out and wide open.
Good back screening by Connecticut.
UConn was formerly the doormat of the Big East Conference before Calhoun got here.
Well, and Arizona had won 4 games the year previous to Lute Olson taking over.
4-23 was their record before Lute arrived.
Oh, they had the lob pass to Woods, but he didn't make himself available.
Gardner way out there. He's got that range.
He sure does. Butler has got to recognize with Gardner or Arenas, when they're out there, they can pull up and take that jumper from 25 feet if they have to. But you can lay off ground. He won't take that 3 at all.
Arizona has now made 5 out of 10 from 3. UConn has not made a 3 in this game.
Well, and probably the main reason they're
Albert Mooring.
Mooring has basically been a non-factor in this game.
5 on the shot clock. The Wildcats overfought for it. It'll be UConn ball when we come back. Arizona leads by 6. Now the fans here pleading, don't go, Ajo. Ajo Dang. UConn Huskies sitting out this game. He did not attend practice the last 2 days, and Jim Calhoun giving him some space, some time to make a decision. He's talked about transferring to another school. Once very promising part of the Husky program.
Well, Jim, you can remember the run to the Final Four, and we talked to Jim on many occasions during practices as they were getting ready, and he said Dang is the best player on this squad, and he wasn't even eligible to play at that time. Now we go from that position to a position now where he finds himself sitting over there in street clothes, thinking about leaving the program. I'd have to say it's not by any lack of confidence that the coach had of him. It's certainly got to be a one-way street on his part.
Robertson gives it up, had an open shot.
Yeah, he should have taken the shot. Now here's Brown, who has not taken a 3 all year. He's 0 for 2 at the point guard position, so he's not going to be a threat there, so you can play him for drive all the time. Here he comes on the drive. Drive and kick.
Butler 3 on the shot clock.
Nice.
Wow. He's got a very quick release.
Oh, he really does. He's got the outside shot. He can penetrate. But what Brown is going to have to do as he plays against more teams of this caliber and in Big East play, he's going to have to prove he can shoot. There's Wright who can.
Very physical college player, Michael Wright. 15 points.
Saunders on the offensive block on the inside. Wright picked it up. Officials right there to watch it. Through the forearm shiver. There it comes right there. A couple of them, a little acting job on Wright. You know, you could go ahead and almost drive a truck in his back, and if he didn't want to feel it, he would not. As strong as he is. So pretty good acting job.
Justin Brown, Johnny Selby returned for UConn.
Young man from Chicago, Farragut High School. But he belonged in Hollywood on that one.
Jefferson short. And there's Selby. Outlet pass, Butler. Freshman surveys. Brown penetrates.
That's his game. That's his game. New York City blessed with Barrett, Brown, and Omar Cook last year in the high school ranks. 3 outstanding guards. Brown really relegated to a driver, a penetrator that kicks out. Not much of a shooter, but when you put him down inside, he can create a shot.
First foul called on Woods. As Brown trying to take over the position that a year ago belonged to Khalid El Amin.
Very poor free throw shooter as well, and you don't like to hear about point guards that can't shoot free throws.
And that on Jefferson.
Brown now on the year, 11 for 34, Jim.
That's a nightmare.
It really is, because he's the guy that's going to have the ball in his hands in key situations as games come down to the wire. So not a good combination.
3 on Jefferson, stolen away by Arizona. Gardner up ahead. Robertson gives chase.
How about how smart Gardner is? Looked back to see where he could get distance, and then went in for the shot, even though he gave up some size. I like Gardner's pace in this game. He's letting the game come to him, not trying to force anything.
And that slip was a trip. Yeah, they slipped and called for traveling.
Watch how he looks back, creates the space, and then makes the layup. Very smart play. And what also Gardner's doing defensively now, he's sizing up Brown and staying way away from him, giving Brown the outside shot, which really takes away a lot of his game.
So after an empty trip, Arizona looks for the largest lead of the game, and that's off the Huskies.
Butler with good weak side help there. Woods again not strong enough to finish inside. He had the good drop step on Brown, but couldn't finish.
Jefferson comes up with air. Butler up ahead. What a steal by Jefferson.
Probably not a wise pass by Robinson. Here's Butler again. Two competitive teams out here.
And a whistle on Michael Wright, pushing off his third. This team of Arizona has spent the early part of the season traveling not only to Maui and Indianapolis, but to Connecticut today, Chicago next week, almost 11,000 miles in 20 days.
Well, Jim, they had to go all the way from Maui to Indianapolis, and I'm not taking anything away from Purdue, but that was their only loss of the year after making that trip. Purdue shot 52% against them. Nobody else has shot over 40. So it did have an effect on them. And then Purdue went right down and played against the University of Virginia team that's one of the surprise teams in the nation this year and just got blown out down in Charlottesville.
5 on the shot clock. Selvey.
Left-hander. Wright doesn't play him for the left-hand move.
UConn's bench has made 8 out of 11 from the field. What a boost.
That's going to be on Butler. He knew he had to put a body on Wright. Wright would have finished that one off.
Monday on CBS, the King of Queens takes on the Incredible Hulk himself when Lou Ferrigno guest stars in an all-new episode. The King of Queens at a special time, 8:30, 7:30 Central, after the CBS Classic, A Charlie Brown Christmas. That's Monday on CBS. Gene Edgerson back in for the Wildcats.
He and Selvey, that'll be fun to watch down inside her. Arenas another air ball. I think that Brown got a piece of his arm, and he turns it over.
And carried it on his hip.
Jim, we talk about surprise teams, and I mentioned that the University of Virginia, a team to look out for. Fordham with a huge win over St. John's today. Bob Hill doing a job there, but is anybody doing a more surprising job than Paul Hewitt down at Georgia Tech? They beat UCLA on the road. Today knock off Kentucky. This is a team that was expected to be down at the bottom of the ACC.
Surprised by Miami's win at Notre Dame.
And that is Miami of Ohio, not Miami of Florida.
Edgerson keeps it alive. Brown snares it.
And there's that bench again for Connecticut. Really doing the job.
Now spins. And a foul on Arizona. Called against Edgerson.
Great competitive fire out here on the part of both of these teams. Cox coming in the ball game now. Gave a big lift in the first half of that point guard position. He's going to take some of Brown's time.
Timeout on the floor. Arizona 49, Connecticut 45. Well, the Big East commissioner and the Big East founder sitting together. On the left, Mike Tranghese, Dave Gavin on the right. Tranghese is the chair of the NCAA Men's Basketball Committee.
And Dave was at one time that as well. I think Dave Gavin is probably the smartest man in basketball when you take into consideration all aspects of it.
Jim Livengood, the athletic director at Arizona, also on the Men's Basketball Committee. Selection Sunday, March the 11th. Livengood
He just made a big selection.
He
hired
one of your old college mates.
That's right, the former neighbor of mine, John Makovic, who I'm sure will do a great job there.
Good hire. It's the head football coach for Arizona.
Good to have John back on the collegiate scene. Quality guy.
He's won everywhere. It's been the coach of the year in every conference he's competed in.
Didn't do a bad job in the NFL either.
Nope. Albert Mooring has to put it up.
And they still don't have a three-point shot.
They still don't have a point from their leading scorer.
That's 19.4 points per game to 0.
Outside whistle. They're going to call it on Brown.
Well, it could have been on Butler as well. Brown's going to get the call, so that's probably good for Connecticut.
Brown's third.
Can we talk about a lack of threes this week? And I hope I pronounced the name right. Teresian Moy, a high school player for Booker T. Washington in Memphis, Tennessee, was 24 of 43 from 3 in one game for 83 points. And here we have Connecticut playing a game and nobody's got one. He made 23 of them in one game.
Edgerson with the tip in.
That will be in the Springfield, Massachusetts Basketball Hall of Fame for a little bit of wall space.
How about having 43 attempts?
Well, how about the other guys on the team?
Really?
They let me feel the ball once or twice. Nice job by Edgerson, not the foul. Beautiful switch on his part defensively.
Robinson. Good drive. Gardner in the right place for the rebound. Walton on the wing. He'll get it. Second try. Walton stayed with it. Luke Walton with 6. Largest lead of the game now for the Wildcats. Cox will shoot a pair.
Boy, Cox is really having a good game off this bench, Jim. Good decisions. Took it right at Woods that time.
Next Saturday on CBS, Kentucky at Michigan State. Kentucky, well, last week we saw them win at Chapel Hill. This will be another tough road assignment for the Wildcats.
How about that for Tubby? He goes to North Carolina, reeling with his ball team, comes away with a huge victory, then plays Georgia Tech today and goes right back down again. This is a young team that he's got, and they're really doing the peaks and valleys.
Might go right in for Lauren Woods.
Woods goes out, not having much of a productive game today. Young man set a Pac-10 shot block record last year with 56 on the year. Had 102 blocks, which is a new Arizona record. But he's being pushed around a little bit here today by Connecticut.
2 blocks today for Woods, 3 of 11 from the field. 6 points. 2 rebounds.
Really shows that Lute Olson's given Jim Rosborough a lot of ability to work with this team in practice, because he's done a superb job today with his substitution pattern.
Cox has it knocked out of there by Frazier.
One pass too many. Wright was in a perfect position. The man from behind us just hollered, Jim, somebody make an outside shot. He's very, he must have his own stat sheet, but he's absolutely correct.
Huskies still without a 3. They've missed.
Well, they're trying to get Mooring 3 on the baseline, but it hasn't been there.
A hold on Arizona. Tuesday on CBS. Imagine your only brother is missing in action in enemy territory. The military's given up the search. Would you be willing to go it alone to find him? Tonight, one man might. That's Tuesday night. Don't miss an all-new episode of Jag Tuesday on CBS. Tuesday, Jag. Second on one.
There's Mooring. Does he have one?
There's the first one. First points for Mooring as well.
He really needed to get off the snide and picks it up big with a 3.
And Juan may have been holding right away from the ball. That will be the 6th UConn team foul. 1 away from the 1-and-1. 3rd on 1.
Jim, if you're Connecticut, you want to come right back down court, set up a double screen again to get Mooring open. You get a guy that's a scorer like that, you've got to get him open for more shots.
Selby and Edgerson fight for it. Tie up, and the arrow belongs to the Huskies.
2 aggressive players. Edgerton with a lot of experience. But neither one of those kids are going to back down.
Butler comes back in.
They've got Woods and Arenas. Arenas coming back in the ball game now, however, with a stretch drive. Set a screen for Mooring. Try to get him open again if you're Connecticut. Bad pass.
Edgerson saw it coming. Trying to get control of it, and not in time. He's on the end line. UConn ball.
Boy, not a lack of effort, though, Jim.
Nope.
He just couldn't get the handle on the ball. You really got to like this young guy. Look at this is a hustle play. Even though it doesn't pan out for him, he's the kind of guy that'll help you win some games. Look at that hustle.
Helped him win the championship in '97.
There again, trying to get Mooring open, but they need some back screens for him. There's no screening. See this, he's not getting the ball in a position where he can get off the jump shot and hasn't been able to beat his man one-on-one.
Butler wants to challenge Jefferson. Brown
kept it alive.
It may have been called for it too. It'll be his 4th. And the 7th.
You know, one of the things when you've got a guy like Mooring that's got 19 points plus per game for you, and he only has 1 basket today, you have got to create some offensive sets to get him open for some shots. Otherwise, he spends so much time working for his shot, he never gets a clear one.
1 for Brown.
Remember how they went to the 1-4 set for Butler earlier in the game and gave him a clear out front. Something like that may be valuable, or some back screens. But going down this stretch with 8 minutes to go, you know that he's got to score some more points.
1-and-1. 7 for 7 at the line. The rest of the team has faltered from the line.
And give Arizona a lot of credit for the reason that he doesn't have points in addition to his foul trouble. They've done a fine one-on-one job, particularly Arenas when he's on him. Really been able to shut him down. Boy,
17 points, 9 rebounds.
Young man really concentrates from that foul line, doesn't he?
He locks in on it.
Yep, he's shooting 83% on the year. You can see why. He's got a nice, solid style. There was a case before where Selby could have come up and got a screen for Mooring, didn't do it. There's Juan, there's the screen. Good hedge move by Wright.
Juan inside Selby. And he is fouled. Jefferson's 4th. Now you look at the makeup of the top 25. There are 5 from the ACC, including the nation's top-ranked team. 5 out of the Big East. Seton Hall slipped, let a 21-point second-half lead slip today at Illinois, losing in overtime. UConn ranked 15th.
Jim, that Seton Hall loss obviously is not going to hurt them. It's an extremely young team, primarily with 3 freshmen. Seen an awful lot of playing time there. To go to Illinois and play that kind of ball game will do well for them. And we saw Mike Tranghese earlier. We talk about when it comes Selection Sunday, good losses. That will turn out to be a good loss in terms of their ranking.
Seton Hall, of course, went to the Sweet 16 last year.
Yep, we had them in Syracuse.
Selby hits 2. been in this range most of the second half. 4-point Wildcat lead. Michael Wright leading the way for Arizona, but again, bench points 25-10 for UConn. And you have the UConn media guide here,
Yes,
Billy,
I do, Jim. There's 468 pages. A lot has happened in UConn basketball,
That's right.
but in 1977, this was the brochure. How about this? 52 pages, including in there 2 pages on how you find the University of Connecticut. Can you imagine that?
We still need those directions. Save that page.
Carry that.
Oh, rattles in for Arenas.
I tell you, it's great to see a player that's got the long-range jump shot, can take it all the way to the basket as he can, and then has the medium-range jumper as well. Really tough to defend a guy that's got all 3.
7 minutes to go. 6-point lead for the visitors.
Now that you see the way Arizona is playing that solid screen with a big hedge switch, Connecticut ought to run some pick and rolls off of that. They could get Butler and Selvey open.
Good hustle again by Walton. 10 on the shot clock for Connecticut.
You notice, Jim, there's a big commitment by Arizona. Anytime there's a solid screen out front, it's a great opportunity on that solid screen to go ahead and pick and roll and hit the screener.
Slam.
Well, that wasn't exactly a pick and roll, but I'll tell you, in Butler and Selvey, Connecticut has 2 of the best slashers and power movers of that size in college basketball on the same team.
14 for Butler. Arenas lost it off his foot, and Moring comes away with it. Selvey to the basket. We thought it might be traveling.
Oh, I thought it was anything other than what had happened, and it turned out to be a defensive foul. But he is committed to go to the hoop.
Arenas called for the block, his second. Let's take a look at the CBS Sportsline stat of the game. And again, it's the bench point plus 15 for the Huskies. For complete game stats, go to cbs.sportsline.com. Selvey.
Well, he was one of those that got from Flint, Michigan to someplace other than Michigan State. And where that was Southeastern Iowa Community College, where last year they were 34-4, the national champions in Hutchinson, Kansas. And Selvey is some player.
And not really discovered until very late in the game by Carl Hobbs, one of Jim Calhoun's great assistants. There he is, former UConn star.
Right, and Hobbs was going to go out to Hutch just on a whim and saw Selvey who was not yet committed.
Arenas.
Perfect pass by Gardner. Arenas filling the lane. Connecticut's got to get to the point now where they need some stops. Arizona doing a great job staying with their game.
Butler. And there's the reason why Calhoun says that he's as gifted a first-year player as we've ever had at UConn for a first-year player.
Woods likes that range for his jump shot, and there's Wright with too good a position.
Selvey on the hold. They ran this break to perfection.
Oh, they really did. And you know what got it starting? Walton, Gardner, Arenas filling the lane. Perfectly executed.
Second personal foul, 8 on the team.
Michael Wright, who in the last week went over 1,000 career points in the game against Gonzaga. 9 for 9 from the line today.
Well, Wright was this year's first Pac-10 player of the week, followed up by Walton being the second one. So Arizona has controlled that particular honor so far this year. First miss of the day for Wright from the line.
Quick pass up ahead. Butler needs some help. Got it from Moring. Boy, had a good look.
A little bit anxious. Selvey and Butler a little quicker than Walton may be used to facing out there.
Woods, 3 players on him. And one called for it will be Selvey. His third. Look at the top 10, and Kansas dismantled this week by your alma mater, Wake Forest, by 31.
Unbelievable loss there.
And a timeout called by Connecticut. Woods will be going to the line when we come back. National championship banners side by side. The 99 men's championship recognized. The 2000 women's championship banner.
And Jim, remember last week we saw the University of North Carolina women going for a national championship in soccer. They won their, 16th out of 19 years. And tomorrow, University of Connecticut men will be going for the national championship in soccer against Creighton, and that would be Connecticut's second national championship. They won back in what I think was like 1981.
Woods 0 for 2 from the line. Good stroke on that one.
Oh, he has an excellent looking touch. His role is going to have to be able to be tougher to finish off plays down inside. Brown back into the game, so Gardner will be able to slough off some.
Huskies 5 down with 5 to play.
Nice rebound.
Juan, strong. Ederson, Hexham.
You notice where Juan knocked Woods? He put him about outside the lane just with that turnaround move. Woods is playing very soft in this game.
4th on Ederson, and with the conclusion of this game, we will be selecting the Chevrolet Most Valuable Player of the game from each team. Chevrolet makes a contribution to each school's General Scholarship Fund, a tradition for over 30 years. One more for Juan.
Jefferson back in, Walton out.
Juan only 2 of 6 for the season from the line. That was 40% coming in.
Excellent substituting by both coaches in this game. Being able to get quality players on the floor, keep them rested, keep guys out of foul trouble, and get the teams are still functioning nicely.
Butler, you're holding him.
You see Selby with Arenas. Arenas did not take the shot because the whistle had blown, and Selby goes over to him and says, if you'd have taken it, I'd have put it 3 rows back up behind you. Nice little interplay between 2 competitive players. There was the play. And right here goes Selby saying, good thing you didn't shoot it, son, because I was about to eliminate it. And Arenas does exactly what you should do to a guy like that. Wants to talk some junk, he just turned and looked to him.
10th foul on Connecticut. Double bonus the rest of the way. Wright returns. Woods to the bench.
Well, I don't think you'll see Wright coming out of this game the rest of the way.
It's them both. Back to 6.
Boy, some great matchups out there now. Jefferson, Butler, Selby, and Ederson, Wright, and Juan. Good job by Wright.
Arenas, defender, got off balance. Robertson, Juan with the rebound.
Couple of big rebounds on both ends of the floor by Juan. That one the defensive end. Remember just previously the offensive rebound he had over Woods. Woods going to come back in. Ederson goes out.
That's it for Ederson, his 5th. This whole second half has been played with a 2 to an 8-point margin for Arizona.
You're replacing Ederson, number 3, Warren Woods.
Again, double bonus on both sides.
Just a 2 for 5 from the foul line coming into this game. So you have a situation where you've got 2 starters on this Connecticut team that are not good free throw shooters. We mentioned Brown shooting roughly at 30%. Then you have your center shooting at 40%. Fortunately for Connecticut, neither one go to the line that often.
He's made his last 2. He provided big minutes in the championship victory over Duke, guarding Elton Brand. Scored 4 points.
I remember 3 straight. That huge steal just when Duke looked like they'd get on a roll. Turned things around for Connecticut in that game.
Then wash it down with a dew.
Tournament heritage, that '99 championship game from Tropicana Field, St. Petersburg, Florida. The UConn Huskies shocked the world, as Khalid El-Amin called it. Richard Hamilton with 27 points, leading the Huskies past Duke 77-74, becoming the first team since UTEP in 1966 to win the national title in a first Final Four appearance.
Jim, sometimes you wonder how a game happens. Here you have Mooring, who averages 19.3 a game. Today he has 3 points, all right? That means he's 16 under his average. Where did the 16 points come from? Connecticut bench has outscored Arizona by 16 points. Kind of interesting, isn't it?
26-10. Yeah, they had to make it up somewhere.
Oh, Butler was going to call a timeout. He didn't get the request from the referee. Had presence of mind to throw it to a teammate.
Signaling for one, no call, one.
Arenas, excellent rebound from the guard position.
3.5 to play. Cats by 4. Arenas, Jefferson underneath.
Well, I tell you, they've got a lot of nice finishers on the break, don't they? Smooth play by Jefferson.
There's Mooring short for the baseline.
He's forcing some shots.
Up ahead, Jefferson. And they will match their largest lead at 8.
Just a beautiful play by Arenas.
All 8 of Jefferson's points have come in the second half. And the Wildcats lead by 8 with 3:09 remaining. UConn has not lost a non-conference game in this building since 1993 in the NIT when Jackson State beat the Huskies here. 22 straight wins since that loss. And Billy, with 3:09 to go, how are the Huskies going to get back into this game?
They have to do it defensively first, getting some stops, Jim. That was just great play by Arizona. Arenas with an outstanding offensive rebound, leading the break, and then that nice pass out to Jefferson. This is a very gifted basketball team, is Arizona. Very fluid. They're playing smart basketball. They've got back out on the floor now. Their starting club that they had for the first time been able to use this year, and they're back out there now. Butler, that's the second time Butler's trying to call timeout. He can't seem to get anybody's view. Nice crossover dribble.
Robertson swatted away.
That was Woods with the steal.
Huskies back with it. Oh, Selby.
Inside, he doesn't think that anybody can stop it.
Well, that was a huge play by UConn just when Arizona looked like it.
Oh, Gardner's got the 3, but he knows that the clock is his teammate here, so he doesn't take the shot. Oh, hook.
Called against the Cats.
Arenas saying that he's been pushed out on the inside. The referee looked at it the other way, and anytime you use that arm to hook the defensive player, you get a call. Now, here's his position. You see that when that arm wrapped around Robertson, he was in trouble.
Timeout, Arizona. Today with Lute Olson back home.
Well, they've been working together a long time, Jim, and you can see how that has filtered down the way that Jim has handled this basketball team today. Just great substitutions. The kid's obviously very familiar with what he wants to get done, and Lute can feel very well served today. See, there's the clear out, but the wrong man's got the ball. Brown is not an outside shooter, so you can just let him back you down in there. He's not going anywhere with the jump shot. He's much better served with Mooring or Robertson having that ball out there.
Robertson.
There.
Yes. Down to 4 with 1:50 to go.
See, you don't want the ball in the hands of a guy that's not going to shoot the ball when you're trying to make a comeback. Arizona with a good ball handling team. Even Woods is a guy, and then he throws it away. Big help.
Oh, save to Woods. Tipped away, stolen by the Huskies.
Again, not a finisher.
Brown drives, puts it up, and he'll shoot one, can cut it to one.
He will take it to the basket, but he's not going to shoot the shot. You've got to pay him for the drive. It's a big comeback for Connecticut, and Jim, I think you pointed it out very well. Remember that steal a few minutes ago with Arizona looked like they were off for a fast break opportunity. See, he's going to come to the basket. He's not going to take the jump shot. You got to play him for the drive.
Fourth foul on Arenas. That was with 2.5 to play. It looked like Arizona was going on a break with an 8-point lead. It was stripped back. Selby hit a shot to cut it to 6.
You see Ederson sitting there on the bench. He happened to play for St. Augustine down in New Orleans in high school. Do you remember the last guy from St. Augustine that came in here and knocked off Connecticut that we remember?
Kerry Kittles. One of the great performances we've ever seen.
That's right.
Brown, a poor free throw shooter, but not this time. It's down to 1 with 1:15 remaining.
Boy, we've had 2 good ones on CBS today. The Seton Hall, Illinois game, and this one almost looking like a repeat.
7-point run by the Huskies. And a hold called on Juan. And Woods will go to the line to shoot 2. He's made only 1 of 4.
Nice offensive set by Arizona, swinging the ball. Woods had Juan sealed on the inside.
Tonight on CBS begins with That's Life, starring Paul Sorvino and Ellen Burstyn. Then Walker, Texas Ranger, Chuck Norris, Craig T. Nelson, and the new hit drama, The District, all tonight on CBS. 2 shots for Woods with 1:03 remaining.
Remember last year at February when we took a look at Arizona? You have to figure out that there are 2 wins against Stanford. The great game that Woods played against Stanford up there. You'd have to say this team was a Final Four club. There's the shot, but the horn is sound, so that won't count.
Yeah, the whistle. Everybody in the building heard it, but Woods.
Well, you know what? I think that was a bad piece of officiating there. The ball was handed by the official to Woods. The other official wasn't paying attention. And that should count, that basket.
The other official at the scores table.
Yeah, he was not in the right position there. The officials had handed the ball to the shooter. That should have counted.
Got it anyway.
Difference. Feel like I'm in the state of Florida. Recount.
1 minute to go. 3-point game.
3-point game. Mooring down there, trying to get a double screen for him for the jump shot.
This could tie it. Yes!
Nice move by Connecticut to free up their one real good 3-point shooter.
He wasn't really that free either.
Nope.
That was a tough shot. 40 seconds to play.
I think you get the ball to right.
Timeout, Arizona. Huskies have come back from 8 down with 2:30 remaining. This is the shot to tie it.
Good double screen to get Mooring open.
(69-69). 11-second difference on the shot clock to game clock. 24 seconds to work with for the Wildcats.
Jim, I think if you're Arizona right now, you want to set up something inside for Michael Wright to touch the ball. You've got a situation, Gardner, you've got Arenas that can feed him, but you want Michael Wright to touch it. He's a good free throw shooter, plus you know if he touches it, here he is, down and low. They're trying to get the ball to him.
Selby trying to defend him. They still try to work it to Wright, that's shut down. 5 on the shot clock.
They got a lot of time.
Gardner with 4.
There's Wright.
Wright, turn around. Oh, Selby. And saved by UConn.
Selby.
Hold on the line, they say. Arizona ball.
Selby was waiting for the opportunity.
We got another call here, a shot clock violation. The other official comes in, so Husky ball. One official said UConn had stepped on the line trying to save it, but he was overruled. Overruled first by the 24 seconds violation.
Also saying that they got the timeout in time. Here we see it going down the wire. The shot is blocked. The clock keeps moving.
That's a huge
How
moment.
about that?
They say again that the shot clock expired before UConn had possession over there on the sideline.
Right.
So UConn ball with 10 seconds to play.
You see it coming up here. There's the time clock. Here's the shot clock at 2. At 1. They do not have it yet. At 0. And you can see there the shot clock then expired. Connecticut's basketball.
That's the proper call. That reminds you of our UCLA-Stanford game last year. We couldn't tell if a ball, remember that one, the shot clock at the end of that game had touched the front of the rim. Connecticut took a timeout, and they have
10 seconds.
10 seconds.
3 seconds.
They're out of timeouts.
Now, let's just think of if you're Connecticut. You know what Arizona wanted to do. They wanted to get the ball to right inside. Selby was just waiting on him. A tremendous leap by Selby to get that, to block that shot. Now, if you're Connecticut, I think you want to think mooring from the outside. Butler as your second alternative.
Robertson, Butler, Selby, Juan, and Mooring on the floor. So the penetrator, Talik Brown, is not in there.
No, but I think you've got Robertson who can penetrate pretty well as Jim out there. There he is, Robertson with the ball.
Gardner defending. 5 seconds to go. Robertson drives, puts it up, blocked away by Woods.
Wait a minute, hold on. They call that a basket? He's called it a basket.
They call it goaltending.
Can you believe that?
Lauren Woods appeals. He can't believe it.
Jim, they're going to call this a goaltend. A lot of indecision by the official. The ball going up. It is on the way up in my estimation.
Billy, there's almost no doubt about that.
The ball is on the way up. That was a good block. See that at the telestrator. Right across the top. I think it was a good block by Lauren Woods. I think the official was shocked that Woods came from that far away to block it. Now, let's take a look. Here comes the drive. Here's the shot. It's on the way up.
There's no signs of that ball coming down.
No, it's on the way up. But you know what? Our opinion, Jim, doesn't count. The official said that is a good basket because he's going to call goaltending. Now, 1.4. All you can do if you're Arizona, throw the ball the length of the court and hope that somebody either gets fouled or can just tap it in. And if you're Connecticut, a wise thing, they put Brown in the game, and he will be guarding the man throwing the ball inbounds.
1.4 seconds to go, and they have to go the length of the court.
Well, you're going to see Justin Brown in the game. Nice move by Jim Calhoun. He will be guarding the guy taking the ball out of bounds. Now, you can run the end line because it was a score. But it's always a good idea, I think, to put your biggest player, even if he's not a starter.
Billy, are they reviewing this, or are they going to review the time? They're reviewing the time. Can't review the goaltend call. So Arizona may net a few extra seconds here.
Well, it should be 2.4 then, okay? Because the basket counts when you're going to call the goaltending, okay? That's when it's, in other words, there should be time put back on the clock to about 2.6 seconds.
Should it be when Woods actually made contact?
Sure, because that's when the basket counted. Watch it right here. We'll see. When the ball is touched, that's technically when it was a good basket. 2.9. See that right there at 2.9.
They've adjusted instead to 1.8.
How they came up with 1.8, I'll never know, Jim. Because the basket counted at the point that it was goaltending.
Wessel comes in to throw the inbounds pass.
Looks like Lauren Woods is going to be the recipient, or right on a back screen. Let's see which way they're going to try to do it. It's right on the back screen.
Wessel throws it down. Woods will get a shot. The shot is up, and UConn wins on the goaltend.
What a comeback. Similar to Illinois today with a big lead by Seton Hall. Only here, in the case of the home team in both games, the fans go crazy.
A 12-2 run to win the game. The Chevrolet most valuable players of the game: Michael Wright from Arizona, Caron Butler from Connecticut. Chevrolet makes a contribution to each school's general scholarship fund to reward outstanding students for their academic achievements and to assist those in financial need. The celebration is underway at Gamble Pavilion in Storrs, Connecticut. UConn wins on a controversial goaltend call. For Billy Packer, this is Jim Nantz saying so long from Gamble Pavilion, where UConn has defeated number 5 Arizona. This has been a presentation of CBS Sports, home of the men's NCAA basketball championship.